everyone, I'm Lydia Green.
And I am Marina Blanco.
And we're research scientists here at the Duke Lemur Center in Durham, North Carolina. And we're also two members of a large team that's fascinated by this question of figuring out exactly which lemur species live in which forests in Madagascar. And so for today's conservation genetics lab, we're going to be talking about the incredible dwarf lemurs, some of our favorite animals that live in the Sindjarivu forest. And that's Sindjarivu.
But before we get started, I think we should answer some questions. What is the Duke Lemur Center?
So the Duke Lemur Center maintains the largest and most diverse collection of lemurs outside of their native Madagascar, and we're a center for lemur conservation, education, and research, all of our research being non-invasive and non-harmful to the animals, of course. And if you want to learn more about what we do, you can check us out at lemur.duke.edu. Can you tell us a bit about how you got involved in lemur science to begin with?
It was a little bit by chance. I was studying anthropology in Argentina, and then I became interested in evolution and trying to figure out why different animal species look different. And I didn't know at the time that I was going to become really passionate about lemurs in general, and especially mouse and dwarf lemurs, who happen to be cryptic, meaning that there are many different species, but pretty much all of them look alike. More of that later. Next question for you. So what lemurs do you study?
I tend not to study so much the tiny nocturnal mouse and dwarf lemurs, although I do when we're working on these projects. But my own research tends to be more focused on these guys, the shifox, and the sort of big diurnal, day-living, flashy, very visually distinctive species who are just incredible. Do you have a favorite lemur here that lives at the Duke Lemur Center?
Yes, I do. And of course, it's a dwarf lemur, and her name is Sandpiper.
Sandpiper.
And so what about yours?
Gertrude. She's just fabulous. Can you tell us a bit about why our team started working at Sindjarivu in the first place?
So we went to Sindjarivu back in 2006, but actually the story begins a little bit earlier, 2 years earlier in 2004. That was when I first traveled to Madagascar, going to Ranamafana National Park. Ranamafana National Park is a montane rainforest in southeast Madagascar. I was looking for mouse lemurs, but quickly became intrigued by their larger and more elusive cousins, the dwarf lemurs. Though larger, these lemurs were much harder to see, especially during the dry season. And I quickly learned that's because they were hibernating. As my passion for dwarf lemurs grew, I also began working with them at different sites. Sindjarivu sounded both appealing and intimidating. Our team would have to face serious challenges to study dwarf lemurs there. We had to set traps high up in the trees, we had to travel several miles every day up and down hills to find the lemurs' sleeping locations, and we had to navigate the forest through rain, mud, vines all night long. It became clear from the beginning that success depended on the strengths of teamwork. The longer we worked at Sindjarivu, the more questions we had. We noticed some differences in size, fur color, snout length. Although we knew cross-laced dwarf lemur live at Sindjarivu, we wonder if we might have also stumbled upon a population of sea-raised dwarf lemurs, a lemur long thought to be extinct, but who likely once lived at Sindjarivu.
And so this isn't the end of our story at Sindjarivu, but it is the beginning of yours, because for today's Conservation Genetics Lab, you're going to pick up with the next phase of our work as we try to determine which dwarf lemurs actually inhabit Sindjarivu today. And so you'll be figuring that out through the lab today. So good luck, and hopefully you come up with the same answer that we did.